You know, to this point, we've been doing it today, but it ain't over yet.
Yeah, these next 12 minutes might be the longest in your coaching career. How do you keep them focused and in the moment?
Well, we've been doing it all year and preaching it all year. You know, hey, it's 12 minutes is a long time, but I'm going to enjoy it.
Thank you. Enjoy it.
Heather, thank you. Dallas going for its second ever sweep of a best-of-7 series. Good defense by Jason Terry forces the air ball and Dallas ball.
Well, right now, Phil Jackson is staying with the second unit perimeter guys, meaning Blake, Brown, and then Barnes. Hopefully that they can keep in front of the penetrating people and then also get the kick out, get some misses, and hopefully get out on the break. See what they can do. Just don't give up.
Brendan Hayward has to shoot, and he got fouled by Barnes as he went up.
You know, in that first half, Mike, we were talking so much about the bench, meaning, you know, Stojakovic, Terrier, and Barea. But Brendan Hayward came in and did a terrific job. He had 6 rebounds in that spell while they were accelerating out on the fast break.
This has been tough to watch in the playoffs. Hayward's free throw shooting, and you know it's a Mavs day when he makes them. He's only 4 of 17 in the playoffs. Miami, Boston, Oklahoma City, Memphis tomorrow on TNT. Boston at home tries to even the series. Oklahoma City doing that on the road. And we note the 8:30 Central starting time for Zach Randolph, who was tardy showing up for the game, only an hour 25 beforehand, getting to the arena. Said some of the flooding issues in the Memphis area may have delayed him. He was there at the end, I know that.
Well, Mike, come on. Anytime you get 21 points and 21 rebounds, I would think that the coaching staff was happy that he was there.
I mean, send a car for him to make sure he's there.
Zach was great. Come on, they were down 16 points. You know, you think about it near the end of the third quarter, and they came storming back. Give Memphis a ton of credit. It was a great team play. Lionel Hollins went to a small unit, and they responded, played excellently, and then definitely Zach was the key guy in the post area to give them credibility for double teaming.
And if that series goes long and Dallas holds on to this lead, about a week of rest for the Mavericks, at least, before hosting Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Barea is short. Look at Hayward chase it down into the lap of Frank Hamblin there. Well, they say he stepped out, and it will be Laker ball. And Brendan with an apology for the veteran Laker assistant, Frank Hamblin.
I like what Rick Carlisle did. So he's not conceding a thing here and saying, hey, we got this game won. He brought Nowitzki right back in to stay with his 4 guys on his second unit. They only rotate 9 players here.
Lamar Odom drives inside and scores.
Well, Odom, anytime, Mike, that he's taking it off the dribble strong. When he catches and faces up and goes, he's been able to score the ball or get fouled.
Dirk.
Well, coming into this game, he was 7 for 10 in threes. So you like that part of it. He hasn't forced the thing all day. Plus, he's 93% on the foul line in this series. 56 from the floor. So he has done it at the offensive end all over, and then the 10 boards.
Steve Blake on the miss. Matt Barnes inside the rebound and the basket. And a foul. You saw Dirk. He's had a quiet offensive game here. He was 15 today. They haven't needed him. But look at this. The history of the playoffs. 25 points and 10 rebounds per game average. Bob Pettit, Elgin Baylor, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Dirk Nowitzki.
Well, come on. We're talking about, 3 Hall of Fame guys there. And Dirk Nowitzki, we know, will get in there whenever he hangs it up.
The greatest Dallas Maverick ever. Stojakovic. 17 threes. The record by a team in a playoff game is 20 three-pointers.
I've never seen 2 players do it the way that we're seeing it today. Stojakovic is 5 for 5, and Jason Terry is 9 for 10.
14 to 15 for that duo. On the drive, Odom's bumped, and the foul is called on the Mavs. Hubie, I'm thinking here at 9:13, it's 27. The Lakers aren't coming back to win this game. And you start to wonder what's going through Phil Jackson's mind and all the Laker fans. You heard what Magic said at halftime, and John Barry. JB said you got to wonder if there's something going on in that locker room. And those guys are locker room guys. They've lived in those locker rooms. And you never know. But Laker fans are asking that question as well. And it will be a lot of conversation and stories written. ESPNLosAngeles.com will certainly have that. ESPNDallas.com as well. We're going to have a technical foul here, I believe. No, we just have Jason Terry checking out. Beg your pardon. That was the ovation. Officials got together for a second. Jason Terry coming over to the bench with his 32 points, getting a standing ovation. So,
well, Mike, this has just been a classic. If you are a defensive team and you cannot guard their 3 perimeter players off the dribble, you are constantly rotating and double teaming. Your defense is now broken down and at a disadvantage.
Whoa. Odom went to Nowitzki on purpose. Flagrant is called right away by Jason Phillips. Odom was frustrated, and I thought there was a key there. There were some words a moment ago.
Yes.
Odom has been short on all of his free throws. As Nowitzki was coming down the court, Odom met him there and came over with a physical and a little bit of an elbow, and let's see what will be called here as the officials get together.
Well, you never want to see anything like this happen, mainly because you're dealing with a franchise player here, and then Odom is still giving a lot of lip right here now.
He's yelling and cursing here at Nowitzki.
And Nowitzki right now, he just has to walk away. Mainly because you are the star for your team, up until today in the first 3 games. There it is right there. See, that's uncalled for.
I got to tell you something. It's a 27-point game. There is frustration on the Lakers' part, but you also have to lose like a champion. If you are a champion and you are part of a championship team, you have to lose that way too, and that was uncalled for.
Now this is a situation, I'm glad the referees, like we told you early on, even in that first half, they were not allowing cheap things to happen. They were right on top of the calls. And I like the quick whistle right here. They're not going to allow Odom, and then that is the correct thing to do.
Throw him out.
This game.
They're going to throw him out of the game. Yep.
Put him out. You cannot set a tone for any more things that might happen in any other game throughout the playoffs. This is the correct call. The officials have been positive all day today. They've been on top of every single skirmish that might have happened. Well officiated game here.
So a flagrant 2 is called on Lamar Odom, who is ejected. Nowitzki comes to the line, and to restore order and peace, Ron Artest replaced Odom in the Laker lineup. (96-68). Kids between the ages 6 and 12, ask mom and dad. It's Mother's Day, ask mom. Go to NBAHoopTrip.com, enter the shot clock shopping spree. You can win 1 of 3 VIP trips to New York City, where you and an NBA star will shoot for 24 seconds. Get as much gear as you can. NBAHoopTrip.com. Artest now being physical with Nowitzki, and a foul is called by Scott Foster. Just going to shut this down. That's you said it. A great job by these officials here, and just trying their best to keep things calm.
Well, the one thing is you cannot allow a star player who's one of your top players in the NBA, makes the All-NBA first, second, or third team every single year, to get injured in a game that, you're definitely going to lose, and you're getting pounded by short temper.
You're getting embarrassed. You're getting embarrassed.
That's correct.
By 30. 2-time champions. Very sad way for the Phil Jackson coaching resume to end the last line of it. But full credit to Dallas. As you said, the perimeter for Dallas, the shooting, not backing down. Barea, oh, look at that.
Oh, God.
That is Bynum. He will be ejected, and that's one of the biggest Bush League things I've ever seen. That is terrible. And Barea is injured. And the Mavericks bench is being very cautious as the medical staff looks. The medical staff's not looking at him. They're keeping everybody on the Mavs bench away from Bynum so they don't get anybody coming off the bench in an incident for the next series. Artest walked Bynum to the exit, and he's been thrown out of the game. Fortunately, Barea is getting up. Let's hope he's okay. That's one of the most Bush League things I've ever seen in a game. That's disgusting.
Amen to that. Amen to that. And I just don't understand why this is happening. We're talking about, when you say Los Angeles Lakers,
absolutely,
you're talking about excellence. You're talking about titles. You're talking about some of the greatest players ever to play. And for this game to end in this manner is a disgrace.
It's an embarrassment to the Buss family, Class family. It's an embarrassment to Phil Jackson and Mitch Kupchak, too, who have had a great career as a head coach, and Mitch putting this team together as a GM. So they're checking the video to make sure, and they made the right call right away. It's a flagrant 2. So he's tossed, and we'll have a timeout here. 8:21. Dallas up 32. They'll look at Barea medically as well. And we'll be back in Dallas after this.
Is it really necessary to brew Coors Light down as low as 34 degrees? Does it really matter if every beer is filtered cold, aged cold, and packaged cold? Do the mountains really need to turn blue when your beer's as cold as the Rockies? Is Rocky Mountain cold refreshment really that important? You be the judge. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Here's the deal. You hate blowing money, but you want a ton of food. Taco Bell's $5 box. A cheesy double-decker taco, burrito supreme, taco supreme, cinnamon twist, and medium soda. All for just $5. Now that's a deal.
I vow to be ready to go whenever you are. I vow to work even after the sun goes down, and to take a tank of gas as far as she'll go. I vow to be the most fuel-efficient Sierra ever. And now use your $14.95 PowerTech discount to get a total value of $6,000 on the 2011 Sierra PowerTech. It's the best Sierra ever.
DirecTV, you can start watching in one room, pause, and continue watching in any other room. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
The chart toppers, the hit makers, and the record breakers come together live, and only one place can handle an event this hot: Vegas. For the first time on ABC, the Billboard Music Awards with the Black Eyed Peas, Rihanna, CeeLo Green, Lady Antebellum, Kesha, Keith Urban, Nicki Minaj, Tayo Cruz, and more. The Hangover's Ken Jeong hosts the Billboard Music Awards, live Sunday, May 22nd on ABC.
We're back in Dallas, all new ABC Tuesday. Dana Delaney's going to star. It's that must-watch new series, Body of Proof. ABC, 10 Eastern and Pacific, 9 Central on Tuesdays. J.J. Barea is going to come back into the game to shoot the free throws. Fortunately, he looks okay. Here are the 2 plays again, Hubie. First, Odom.
Yeah, they're right there. Now, you can see that is totally uncalled for, and it was an extension of what happened at the other end. And right here, this is just Bush League. And it's going to be interesting of the referees' reports that go back into the NBA office and how they judge this, especially because when you think of Phil Jackson and his career, you cannot think of any teams of his that played in 13 finals that ever acted like this. Okay, now think about that. You know, you can say, hey, you might not have liked Chicago, you might not have liked the Lakers, except for one thing. Totally professional teams, played the game the right way, tough defensively, played great under pressure.
And there was nasty moments, no doubt, in those 90s series early on, the early 90s with the Bulls, but the Pistons, Bad Boys, the Celtics, the Knicks teams that you coached, you were involved in many of those games as kid is short. Very different era and time of basketball. And as you said, rough physical basketball was defined differently then.
Yes. Not
cheap shot stuff like we just saw. As Kobe misses the 3. Very out of character for Lamar Odom, who's usually one of the easier going, nicest guys. Foul on Sean Marion inside. And you don't know if it's the frustration of the series, the frustration of, as the guy said, something might be going on with this Laker team, and who knows what we'll hear as we go forward.
Well, Mike,
or the frustration of being embarrassed.
Oh, absolutely.
And that is what has happened in the series and at an all-time high level here this afternoon.
Well, especially, Mike, when they made their run and when they missed the layup. All right, they were totally in the game, and since that time, when that happened on the missed layup by Artest, the game has gone totally out of hand. It's become embarrassment. And then all of a sudden in the right-hand corner, away from us, we see that Odom and Dirk Nowitzki and all this chippy talk. So that's why I'm saying the referee's report to the main office is going to be very big here in the fines that are going to be distributed to these two players.
And not just the fines, there very well will be suspensions next year at the start of the season for these players. Obviously, the Lakers will be done here in about a half hour. Kobe at 13 in the first quarter, has 17 now. Shawn Marion extends the lead to 33. Largest lead of the day here for Dallas again.
Well, we've seen this double teaming and defense coming out farther, out by the three-point line by Dallas in all of the other games, and especially today selectively. They take them and they force the passes. They get them out of their triangle offense, and they make the offense difficult for the Lakers. Great defensive plan by the coaching staff of the Dallas Mavericks, and it's held up because, I mean, I know that they're going to get more than 89. They got a shot at getting more than 89 because there's 7 minutes left.
Right.
But now we can understand and give Dallas a ton of credit for their plan over the 3 previous games.
No doubt. Lakers over the limit now with 7 minutes left here in the fourth, down 35. Next question that will ask with LA will be, 1, who's going to be the coach? Shannon Brown hits a 3. 2, what do you do to the roster? And Magic Johnson mentioned yesterday, as we've discussed already here today, about looking at this roster and can you make a trade. Dwight Howard's name has come up, and I'm sure will continue to come up by those who are speculating about what's out there. But you think about the Lakers under contract, they have a lot of players under contract for next year. Mitch Kupchak will have to deal with all of that. Here's the core of the Lakers with Bynum, Fisher, and Odom, 2 more years. The top, Brian Gasol and Artest, 3. Player options for Shannon Brown and Matt Barnes to remain Lakers.
Well, you can look at it. Their primary 3 big guys, meaning Odom, Bynum, and Gasol, are all under contract. And then it comes down to, you have to evaluate this team. Come on, after the All-Star game, they went out 17-1, and then they fell apart. And everyone kept saying Brian Shaw might be the leading candidate to be the next coach. But everybody is saying, what is wrong with the Lakers? It's a lethargic play, and even in their first round, in their series, they did not play up to their potential night in and night out. And then definitely in this series, come on. I like the fact that Phil Jackson said that, hey, with 3 minutes, we could be ahead 2-1.
Game 1 and Game 3.
Absolutely, because they were ahead in both games as we got down into the 3-minute mark, and it got away from them. Well, that's called execution and getting. Did you shoot a high percentage? No. Did the right guys get the ball in their best areas of the court? And the answer to that was no. So people question of how they ended those 2 games that they lost by shot selection, and then at the other end, Phoenix got the ball to where they wanted to go. I'm sorry. Dallas got the ball to where they wanted to go, and they did an excellent job not only getting high percentage shots, but getting on the foul line and making their foul shots.
You mentioned Brian Shaw. He has been the person mentioned most as the person who could be next in line to replace Phil Jackson. He's been here for a while as an assistant through the organization. Celtic draft pick, 3 NBA titles with the Lakers. Very good relationship with Kobe Bryant, which is essential to the next coach because Kobe is still the centerpiece of this franchise. So we will see if that, in fact, is the next place they go and when that conversation starts to heat up. But the speculation will begin here in 6 minutes of playing time. 109-78 after the Shannon Brown 3.
No one understands the weaknesses of a team when it starts to crumble unless you're in that locker room and you're at the practices and you're at the timeouts over there at the benches. And then when you're watching your team play, are they executing the game plan at both ends of the floor? And then where is the chemistry or lack of chemistry, and why is there a lack of chemistry? Is it a fatigue factor? There's so many things that will go into Mitch Kupchak and his administration and the coaching staff sitting down and trying to diagnose what has happened here to this ball club.
All these runs to the finals Stojakovic again. He's 6 for 6. And Stojakovic and Jason Terry are 15 of 16 shooting threes. They have put on the best 1-2 3-point shooting show in NBA playoff history today. Artest inside is fouled, and we hit a timeout at the 4:45 mark. That three, the 47th, and this will be a 4-game series, so it's a record. Sometimes jump shooting does not carry over to the playoffs. It has in spades for Mark Cuban, Jason Terry, and the Western Conference final bound Dallas Mavericks.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs on ABC, brought to you by the 2011 Sierra from GMC, the best Sierra ever.
Television. It was black and white, then color, then came HD. Now, there is 3D from Sony. Now, there is television redefined.
Joey says to the guy. Love when that happens.
Applebee's introduces 2 new sizzling entrees starting at $8.99. Fresh flavor never sounded so good. New sizzling entrees only at Applebee's. Open till midnight or later.
We're going to prove that Vaseline Men Fast Absorbing Lotion gives you strong, non-greasy skin in just 15 seconds. You just can't do that with greasy hands. Vaseline Men, no grease, just strong skin. See more online.
Wow.
Best friends.
I don't understand why you're seeing this guy.
Boom.
He's so hot. Like, take off your shirt, and it goes like...
Big news.
I'm engaged.
What?
Be my maid of honor?
Of course they will.
This Friday.
The food here is really good. You got food poisoning. No, she didn't.
We all got the bug. Oh, the bug.
From the producer of Knocked Up and Superbad.
My sister was a maid of honor. It was so stressful she lost her hair.
Don't
It's
look.
fine.
Bridesmaids. Rated R. Starts Friday.
I vow to be ready to go whenever you are. I vow to work even after the sun goes down, and to take a tank of gas as far as she'll go. I vow to be the most fuel-efficient Sierra ever. And now use your $14.95 PowerTech discount to get a total value of $6,000 on the 2011 Sierra PowerTech. It's the best Sierra ever.
All new ABC Tuesday. A case so puzzling for Dr. Megan Hunt.
What's that?
I'm not exactly sure.
No rules apply.
Stop what you're doing. You just broke the law.
ABC's Body of Proof. All new Tuesday at 10/9 Central on ABC.
Hi, I'm Tyson Chandler of the Dallas Mavericks, and I want to wish all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day, especially my own.
Nice greeting from Tyson, and the Mavericks on their way to this conference finals. ABC Wednesday Happy Endings, all new. Every Wednesday, ABC giving you not one but 2 all new back-to-back episodes at 10/9 Central here on ABC. Your Buick Regal game track for this closing game of the conference semifinal. Dallas up 4 after the first, and the three-point barrage began, up 24 at the half. Same true through 3. Jason Terry tying an NBA playoff record with 9 three-pointers, and the Mavericks as a team are 2 shy of a record. They've hit 18 threes in this game. Kobe Bryant likely on the bench. The benches have been emptied both ways. Jan Mahimi, Brian Cardinal, and Corey Brewer checking in for Dallas. Trey Johnson, who played only 1 regular season game for the Lakers, has checked in for Los Angeles, trying to avoid their worst playoff loss ever. They're down 32 right now. Of course, you remember that game in the finals in 08. There is Corey Brewer, the former Florida Gator, who actually gave them some good minutes in Game 1 when the Mavs were down 16.
Before that layup by a second-team player, Stojakovic, Terry, and Barea scored 72 points in this game. The first team for Dallas has only scored 36, so they doubled them. But how about they made 26 out of 33 shots? Now, when do we ever see that, Mike? We've never seen that. 3 guys coming off the bench with that kind of production.
Luke Walton has also checked in for Los Angeles along with Trey Johnson. And Joe Smith, the former #1 overall, as we are just filling out the box score here in the last 4 minutes, but it's a different one, ending the career of Phil Jackson. Let's talk about what Dallas has been up against, Hubie, because Mark Cuban's built an unbelievable franchise here, very successful. But look at the roadblocks they've had. They've had the Kobe and Shaq, and then the Kobe Lakers, and the San Antonio Spurs with Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili. In the last dozen years, only those 3 franchises have been to the Western Conference Finals, and the Lakers doing it all those times, the Spurs 4, and Dallas in 06 when they lost to Miami. And in that same time period, 3 teams have represented the West, 9 different teams have represented the East. So the Mavericks are really darn good. They just had 2 great franchises on their side of the draw.
Well, give Mark Cuban a ton of credit here. Mike, for 11 straight years, they've won over 50 games a year. Now, where's the frustration? Why are these people so jacked up? Sure, they're beating the Lakers, but they also went out 3 times in the last 4 years in the first round, even though they've won over 50 games. Right. So that's where the frustration is in this franchise. So everyone is so elated because the defense has been terrific, and they're seeing it. And then also, we all know that they've always been able to score.
J.J. Barea has 22. His playoff career high. The Mavericks 1 shy of an NBA single-game playoff record for threes made. Trey Johnson on the miss. And Hubie, it is, you know, the Atlanta Braves were so great for so long and have that 1 championship to show for it. And they were better than that, you know, over their time. Trey Johnson fouls Mahimi inside. The Mavericks are a similar type franchise. All the success, but not the ring at the end. This guy had most of the rings. We'll talk about the final moments of Phil Jackson's head coaching career in all likelihood when we come back.
Thanks to our advanced, direct-injected 4-cylinder engine that offers 30 miles per gallon highway, this moment of solitude can be brought to you for over 500 uninterrupted highway miles. Courtesy of the Buick LaCrosse, the most fuel-efficient sedan in its class. The 2011 LaCrosse from Buick. And now you can lease this 2011 Buick LaCrosse for $309 per month.
Bruh. What's up, Dwight? What you got in the bag? Big Mac, fries. I'll play you for it. My lunch, first one to miss, watches the other one eat. No jump shot. There. Flat-footed, 540. 360 for the free throw line, Olympic-style landing.
Great show, guys, and thanks for lunch.
Who's that? I have no idea. He's taking our lunch, though.
Well, hey, man. It's me. I'm coming home.
When?
I've spent too long away from home. Did all the things I could have done. Gone on the days of endless. I know I'm
There's only one new episode.
The kid is scared. There's a killer lurking outside. Make her sleep out here.
Until the explosive.
Who's out there?
2-hour season finale. ABC's Desperate Housewives. All new tonight, 9/8 Central on ABC.
Those 4 hats, Phil Jackson's children. As Phil said, they put down their adult lives to come here today. It's sensing that it might be the end of one of the great coaching resumes in the history of sport. The 3 championships with Jordan and the Bulls, and then Michael took the 2 years away, came back, and another 3-peat. Then they didn't keep those Bulls together. Phil took a year off, out to Los Angeles with Kobe and Shaq winning 3. And then After Shaq left, Lakers struggled. Phil steps away for a year. Rudy Tomjanovich comes in. Jackson comes back and wins number 10 to pass Red Auerbach for the most all-time. And those hats that his kids are wearing with the X there, the kids made those hats when Phil won the 10th in Orlando. I remember being there and watching them give the hats, and Phil wore that, which was uncharacteristic of him, but his kids did it for him, and then winning the 11th last year. And now the end, and there is no way you would have thought that the end of Phil Jackson's head coaching career with Jordan and Pippen and O'Neal and Bryant, Robert Horry, and all those great players would end with Trey Johnson on the floor for the Lakers, but that is the way this sudden, shocking finish has played out.
I think, though, when you look at Phil Jackson, it's 20 years of coaching, 13 finals. That is a staggering stat. Then you add the 11 rings. And when you look at him, he was a great organization man. He surrounded himself with excellent coaches and good teachers, starting with Tex Winter and Johnny Bach and Frankie Hamlin in Chicago. Then he'll be referred to as a great communicator and salesman, because not all of the star players that played for him were enamored with the triangle offense. He had to sell that, demand it, and then have the teams play to their potential. Then the last thing, when you're picked as a coach every year to be running for the championship, the pressure that is on you on a daily basis within the media, within your peer group, and within your players. You are going to the middle of June 13 times in 20 years. So from a physical standpoint, the fact that he's been able to stay on top of all of this and then keep the fact, and then it was all passed on in 07 when he went into the Hall of Fame.
I want to give you one last number here on Phil, all these numbers. Tonight, if you include the playoff games and the regular season games in the NBA, is his 1,973rd game as a head coach. And 1973 was the year that Phil played with the Knicks and won that NBA title. And it will end here in Dallas this afternoon.
You're not bringing up the Albany Patroons, are you?
No, not the CBA. No, not the CBA.
When they won the championship in the CBA.
He was a second-round draft pick, played for the Knicks, played over 800 games, worked his way through coaching. And it has been, as I said before, the best professional resume in coaching in American sports with the 11 championships. But this moment does belong side by side in a parallel universe to the Mavericks and their accomplishment of sweeping the Lakers and winning this second-round series.
Well,
Final minute.
Myself, I'm happy for Rick Carlisle and his staff. They have done a wonderful job with this team. They've changed its personality. We also know that bringing in Tyson Chandler and Stojakovic and then adding it to what you already have, things have picked up for you, but now you have a new identity. Not only the three-point shooting.
And that's the record. 20 ties the record. 20 three-pointers made in a playoff game.
But now the respect factor at the defensive end of the floor. And that has been their #1 goal since the first day of training camp.
Luke Walton off on his shot. Final half minute. Shot clock violation. The Dallas Mavericks lost 3 of 4 to Memphis, beat Oklahoma City 2 of 3. That will be the Western Conference Finals. For the 4th time in franchise history, the Dallas Mavericks are going to the Western Conference Finals. There will be a new champion in the NBA, and one of the great coaching careers of all time has come to an end, in all likelihood. So Mark Cuban and Phil Jackson, who have shared many a negative word publicly, did not go after each other in this series. And Cuban with a hug for Kobe Bryant as he departs. A lot of the players around the league respect what Mark has done with his franchise. A new champion will be crowned as the Los Angeles Lakers face a ton of questions going forward. A very embarrassing elimination here in Dallas. 122 to 86 as they file off. And perhaps we've seen Phil Jackson coach for the final time. 11 rings. This day belongs to the Dallas Mavericks. Moving to the Western Finals. And here's Heather with Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Terry.
Mike, thanks so much, Jason. You guys came in thinking win, but how did you do it in such a convincing fashion?
To God be the glory. We stayed focused. We came out and executed our game plan. Break them down with penetration, get out in transition, but defensively, that's where we started it in training camp. Defensively is where we made our stand.
And boy, did you have a hot hand tonight. 9 of 10 from three-point land. At what point in this game did you know it would be a special day?
When I woke up this morning, Mom's cooking. It's Mother's Day, so I know she's here. She's in the stands. I love her, and I thank God for her.
Congratulations. Enjoy the win, Jet. Dirk, congratulations to you as well. How much more meaningful is this sweep knowing that it came against the two-time defending champs?
Well, it was great, you know, to get through the series. Obviously, they're a very good team. They're the defending champs. And big key was those 2 games on the road. We came in, stole game 1, and really backed it up with a great performance in game 2, and that was really the key.
How does this win help erase some memories of some disappointments in past playoffs?
Yeah, you know, we've been struggling a little bit. We went to the finals that 1 year. Since then, we had a couple of early exits, but I think this team is as deep and as good as any team I've been on here in the Mavericks, so we're trying to go for it.
You've certainly got some time to look ahead to the next series, but how do you avoid that hangover with such an emotional sweep of the Lakers?
Well, we got some time now to sit back, and especially Jason Kidd is obviously a little older, so he got some time to rest, and whoever's going to win, obviously 2 great teams are still playing in the Western Conference, so whoever this is, we're going to be ready whenever it starts.
Congrats on a great series. Mike and Hubie?
Yeah, in other words, you guys knock each other out. Have a good 6-7 game series, huh? Good for Dirk Nowitzki, future Hall of Famer who has carried this team through some tougher times. Will carry him to the Western Finals. Jason Terry led the bench. The bench scored 81. The Lakers scored 84. We'll crown a new champion in the NBA, and we'll be back after this.
I vow to be ready to go whenever you are. I vow to work even after the sun goes down, and to take a tank of gas as far as she'll go. I vow to be the most fuel-efficient Sierra ever. And now use your $14.95 PowerTech discount to get a total value of $6,000 on the 2011 Sierra PowerTech. It's the best Sierra ever.
By 2020, 50 billion network devices will roam the Earth. That's 7 devices per person. This will change how we work in ways we've never before imagined. What do you need to secure your people, their devices, and your business? A network that can evolve and grow to protect your human network. Never fear new frontiers. See why at Cisco.com. Cisco.
Fast food, what are you really getting? Instead, lighten up with a refreshing Subway Orchard Chicken Salad Sub, overflowing with fantastic flavorosity and, amazingly, 8 grams of fat. Part of a Subway Fresh Fit meal. Subway, eat fresh.
Mike Tirico, Hubie Brown, final thought as we watch Phil Jackson's career come to an end. In all likelihood, he has said he's not coming back.
Right.
The kids here, you get the sense it truly is the end. And the Mavericks moving to the Western Finals for the 4th time in franchise history.
Well, they showed us why. It's 4-0. And they did it first class. And by that we mean the bench scored 86 points. Think about that. The 3 leading scorers, you know, you're talking about Terry, Barea, and Stojakovic in the
bench
game.
Guys.
I mean, come on. 3 guys
happens.
from the bench.
That's right.
And then when you say, you know, overall, they just defensively shocked the world.
They sure did.
By holding the Lakers to 86 points.
Yep.
Again.
I'm glad you mentioned that. 86 points for the bench, 86 for the Lakers. in this game and the end of Phil Jackson's coaching career. Our final score here today, 122-86. Jason Terry equaling an NBA record with 9 threes in a playoff game, and the Mavericks team with 20 also tying a playoff record. The Mavericks will host Game 1 of the Western Finals Sunday, May 15th, or Tuesday, May 17th against Oklahoma City and Memphis, depending on the length of that series. With Hubie Brown, Heather Cox, Mike Tirico, world news or your local news next over most of these ABC stations. Thanks for watching the Mavs sweep the Lakers on the home of the NBA Finals.